Of course, they targeted today the Premier, New South Wales Premier Chris Minns' office. Not content with their protests all over the weekend, they had to go direct to his Kogarah electorate office, didn't they?
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
There's that trusty old chant again. I mean, what do they think they're going to achieve? There were about 200 of them there, right? So it wasn't the same as what we see in the city. But again, if you've got the time on a Monday afternoon at about 3 o'clock to go down to the Premier's electorate office, where he's probably not going to be anyway because he's got better things to be doing, and protest there, what are you achieving except, again, participating in this mass psychosis?
Well, you're also achieving in advertising your complete and utter belligerent ignorance on the matter. Our friend, the funny TikToker from last week, is back again, and he's got a few questions for these protesters.
Look at these photos. A city in ruins. All this destruction probably makes you angry, doesn't it? You look at this and you probably hate Israel and think the IDF is a bunch of war criminals. You want to go to a rally and protest, don't you? Scream for the sake of the poor civilians of Gaza. Well, go ahead and do that, but please know that this is not Gaza. All of these pictures are from Iraq. This is what happened when the Allied forces fought ISIS. Tell me, did you protest back then? Probably not. But why? Maybe you think Hamas is better than ISIS. Well, that's just pure ignorance. That's evidently not true. You can compare the charters of the two, the fighting methods, the governing principles, the horrific ways of torture. They are the same.
Gotta love it. Where were you guys when it was the Allies absolutely carpet bombing Iraq? It was all okay then. Nobody cared. Nobody gave two hoots. Oh, but there are innocent people in Iraq. Yeah, there was. I'm sure there was before they were utterly obliterated. But when it suits the narrative, it suits the narrative. I don't recall anyone batting an eyelid.
Well, that's because, of course, the roots of all of this is anti-Semitism.
Correct.
And that anti-Semitism has then been turned into a broader anti-Western thing. It doesn't... All of what we see now has grown into anti-West, but it didn't emanate from anti-West, whereas when we were going to Iran, Iraq, whatever, that just was pure anti-West. So what you've had here is an opportunity for a groundswell of people who had a beef to begin with to then sell that beef to other people. And that's why you've started to see this stuff come through we talked about last week, with people in America and around the world now reading Osama bin Laden's letter to America and starting to sympathise with
being
that
enamoured with it.
The only reason that they didn't have beef with Iraq at the time is because no one else had told them why they ought to have beef with Iraq. Now that someone else has come along and spewed their anti-Semitism to people as well, this is colonialism. And of course, colonialism is a big thing to talk about at the moment. We all hate colonialism. It's grown much, much bigger.
Well, you put your finger on the nub of the issue. It starts with anti-Semitism. It's where it always starts, but it doesn't stop there. It then moves to the Western civilization. And as an Islamic extremist famously said, they start with the Saturday people, that's the Jews who worship on Saturday, and then they move to the Sunday people, the Christians, and it keeps going, which is why we've got to stand up for Israel, because in fighting for the rights of Jews, we're fighting for our own rights as well.